the vodka shot going from the table to the mouth and how many they could consume in that time. So they would had a bar, set the bar up and actually did that as a drama. Then the graph was actually animated with little vodka glasses to actually show how fast they could drink those vodka shots and how many. So it was looking at distance and speed. So it was just a creative way of getting them to be able to recall math problems. And because they, through drama and video and animation, they have to repeat that process over and over again, it becomes much better for them to actually recall and solve those problems. So all in all, after a sticky start and a few frustrations, they were absolutely great. So they've now produced 4 short films that look at distance and speed and working with graphs.
Having experienced the processes of creating an animation, we decided to produce one in-house in order to illustrate more of the key concepts of the maths curriculum. As an arts college, we're fortunate to have the facilities to be able to do this, as can be seen from the following example.
Welcome to Maths News. Today's story is very exciting. There is a crisis in the farming industry. Due to the lack of space in the countryside, farmers are having to relocate hen coops. We now hand over to our exceptional reporter, Alex, who is on the roof.
Thank you, Jasmine. We have been speaking to local eggs to find out exactly what has been happening.
It's cracking me.
I'm shell-shocked. It's awful, just awful.
Terrible, terrible, terrible.
We spoke to one of the relocated hens.
It is awful. 30 of my eggs have been scrambled on the pavement. I'd like to know what speed they fell at when they left that roof.
I spoke to an expert who had been working on the equation.
I used the equation distance divided by time equals speed. These were my findings.
The results show that the speed of the first egg drop was 9.8 meters per second. The second egg drop was 9.7 meters per second, and the third egg drop was 9.9 meters per second, giving an average of 9.8. In conclusion, the results show that the eggs should stay in the country. This is Alex reporting for Maths News.
Today we did like a thing where one person was a teacher, like a perfect teacher, one was a perfect student, one was the lesson, and one was a perfect parent. And like we had to like say examples like what a perfect parent or something would be, and then we wrote it down and like stuck it on his like with post-it notes and that.
We decided as a group what makes a good maths lesson is that the teacher was good and did fun things and the work wasn't too hard, and the classroom was colourful and posters to help us with our maths. We've got a good maths teacher because he helps us with our work and gives us the right work for us, and he's fun and he makes us laugh.
This cohort of students have exceeded expectations, and in test results at the end of the project have achieved more highly than a top set Year 9 who were taught in a conventional maths setting. The Creative Partnership Initiative has reinforced the positive impact that using creative practices can have in maths, and we're looking forward now to developing this across other curriculum areas.
So the really important point is the point made at the end there, that at the end of the academic year, when the children had to sit their test, this group of low-performing children achieved higher test scores than the highest scores of the top performing children in the same school.
여기서 이제 가장 중요하다고 생각이 되는 것은 마지막에도 언급이 됐던 부분입니다. 즉, 이 학생들이 처음에는 성취도가 상당히 낮은 학생들이었는데 학년이 끝나갈 때 학년말 고사를 일단 치렀습니다. 그리고 이들의 성적이 상당히 초기보다는 상당히 높은 점수를 받게 됐다는 점이 중요하다고 볼 수 있습니다.
In the second project, it's a biology project for 16-year-olds, and the students are studying genetic diseases. And they've been given a playwright this time, and the children are writing a play about genetic diseases. And in the play, they imagine a situation in which the government has passed a law saying all 16-year-old children have to have a blood test, and if they're shown to be carrying genetic diseases, they will be sterilized.
두 번째는 이제 생물학에 관한 부분인 프로젝트였습니다. 즉 16세 학생들을 대상으로 해서 유전 질환에 대한 수업을 한 경우였습니다. 학생들에게 각각 학생들에게 역할극을 작성하도록 하였습니다. 그리고 이 하나의 상황극에서는 유전 질환에 대해서 이야기를 하는 부분이 있습니다. 즉 전체적인 이야기는 학생들이 정부에서 16세가 넘는 모든 국민들을 대상으로 혈액 검사를 수행을 합니다. 그리고 이 학생들 중에 혹시라도 유전 질환을 갖고 있는 것으로 판단된 그런 사람들 같은 경우에는 불임을 시켜버리겠다라는 법안이 정부에 의해서 통과된 상황을 가정하고 있습니다.
And in the play, a 16-year-old girl has not had the blood test and has got pregnant, and the play is about a court case in which the defense argues that it's a human right to have babies, and the prosecution argues about the rights of the child, who will now be born with diseases, and the rights of the state, who will have to look after the child.
그래서 지금 앞에 나올 얘기는 임신을 한 16세 소녀에 관한 이야기입니다. 이 소녀 같은 경우에는 혈액 검사를 받지 않은 상황에서 지금 임신을 하게 된 겁니다. 그래서 법정에서 이야기를 하는 경우에 변호사 측에서는 이 아이가 태어날 권리에 대해서 주장을 하고 있는 반면 검사 측에서는 이 아이가 원치 않은 질병을 갖고 태어날 수 있기 때문에 이 아이의 권리를 침해하고 있다라고 또 반박을 하고 있습니다.
And the play opens with a video made by the children which sets the scene for the court drama.
그래서 지금 이 보시게 될 비디오에는 직접 아이들이 제작한 것으로서 이러한 법정 드라마의 서두를 보여주고 있습니다.
Oops, it didn't open, sorry. I don't know why. Sorry, it didn't open, but we'll move on.
지금 약간 문제가 있는지 재생이 안 되지만 이따가 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
So, what is the key to our approach? The key to our approach is give pupils the responsibility.
그러면 이러한 접근 방식에 있어서 주요 요소에 대해 말씀을 드리도록 하겠습니다. 중요한 것은 학생들에게 그 책임감을 부여해야 한다는 점입니다.
And we say that whilst teachers can teach, only the pupils can do the learning. And in this next play, in this next project, we will show you how we worked with a group of primary school children and gave them real responsibility to develop a project which was to create a new classroom for their school.
우리가 일반적으로 알고 있는 개념은 교사들은 수업을 하고 학생들은 이걸 수업을 받는다라고 생각을 하고 있습니다. 그렇지만 이제 보여드릴 프로젝트는 영국에 있는 한 초등학교에서 실질적으로 했던 프로젝트입니다. 그래서 학생들에게 실제로 자신들이 해야 할 책임을 부여함으로써 새로운 방식으로 접근하는 것을 보여드릴 수 있겠습니다.
So the children all got together to decide what kind of classroom they would create. And they decided that what they would do is they would buy a full-size passenger aeroplane and they would have it delivered to the school and put in the front yard and use it as a classroom.
그래서 아이들이 모여서 우리가 어떤 교실을 만들까라고 머리를 싸매던 중에 그냥 일반 여객기를 하나 구입을 하자라고 결론을 내렸습니다. 그래서 이 여객기를 구입을 해서 학교 운동장에 가져와서 이 여객기를 활용을 해서 우리의 교실로 만들자라는 결론을 내리게 되었습니다.
So the year sixes, who were the 11-year-old children in the final year at primary school, were responsible for getting planning permission from the municipality, because if you park a full-sized aeroplane in your front yard, you need permission from the municipality.
그래서 그 초등학교 6학년 학생들이 계획서를 직접 작성을 했고, 그리고 지방 정부에 가서 이 계획서를 제출했습니다. 왜냐하면은 이렇게 여객기를 어느 한 곳에 이렇게 계류시키기 위해서는 지방 정부의 승인이 필요했기 때문입니다.
The year fives, the next year down, had to find an aeroplane and buy it and have it delivered to the school. So they went on to eBay, where they found an aeroplane and they bought it and they arranged for it to be delivered.
그리고 6학년 학생들이 이렇게 계획을 제출하는 동안 5학년 학생들은 어떠한 여객기를 이제 구입을 해야 될지에 대해서 검색을 했고, 그리고 어떻게 학교로 가져올 것인가에 대해서 생각을 했습니다. 그렇기 때문에 이베이를 검색을 해서 자신들이 원하는 그 여객기를 찾고, 그리고 구매를 하고 어떻게 학교까지 가져올 것인가에 대해서 계획을 짰습니다.
And this is the aeroplane that they bought, and this is the aeroplane when it was delivered, with the very surprised head teacher standing in front of it.
지금 보시면 실제로 학생들이 구매한 비행기입니다. 그리고 가운데에 있는 사람이 교장 선생님인데, 교장 선생님이 지금 상당히 놀라는 표정을 보실 수가 있습니다.
And year 4, the next year down, had to do the interior design because it needed to be turned into a classroom. So they went onto the internet and they found the details of the man who had done the interior of the private jet of one of our footballers, David Beckham. And they contacted him and said, we've just bought an aeroplane, will you help us convert it into a classroom?
그리고 4학년 학생들은 실제로 구매한 이 여객기 안을 어떻게 꾸밀지에 대한 계획을 짰습니다. 왜냐하면은 그냥 비행기를 그대로 쓰는 게 아니라 교실로 개조를 해야 하기 때문입니다. 그래서 인터넷을 검색을 해서 이렇게 개인 비행기에 인테리어를 담당하는 사람을 찾게 되었습니다. 마침 그 사람이 축구 선수인 데이비드 베컴 비행기를 리모델링한 사람이었습니다. 그래서 이 사람에게 직접 연락을 해서 우리가 지금 이 비행기를 교실로 개조하려고 하는데 어떻게 하면 좋겠는지 직접 연락을 취했습니다.
And these are the children in their new classroom enjoying it. Now, the important thing about this project was that the children are responsible for doing their learning. And the whole project is in fact a literacy project. It's about encouraging children to write, and that's why year 6 had to do the planning applications, and year 4 had to write all the letters to the designer and so forth, because all the time they were having to write and write.
자, 그래서 지금 보시는 사진이 이렇게 개조를 한 비행기 안에 만들어 놓은 교실입니다. 이 프로젝트에서 중요한 것은 아이들에게 책임감을 부여함으로써 이들이 학습에 대한 책임을 어떻게 져야 되는가, 어떤 책임감을 가져야 되는가를 심어주는 사실입니다. 그리고 학년에 맞는 소양교육을 실시함으로써, 즉 6학년 학생들 같은 경우에는 승인을 받을 수 있도록 하고, 4학년 학생들 같은 경우에는 직접 연락을 해서 인테리어를 꾸밀 수 있도록 이렇게 책임을 부여했습니다.
So what the children were learning was how to design their own education. And it is very important that children learn this young, because after they finish school and they go to university, and even more when they leave there and they go into the world of work, in the world